Hey, how you doing? Let's chat. I'm gonna be working and talking. I was thinking like Marthea, that's multitasking, but it's a little different because I'm just talking. I'm not gonna be teaching in this video. I was scrolling on social media the other day, and I think it was on Threads on Instagram where someone put a thread about the fact that they are finding life to, I'm trying to think of how to word it, that they are finding life to be much harder now that they are trying to walk with the Lord. And I said, ooh, that is true, right? So if you're not a believer, this one ain't for you. Click off. I was like, oh my gosh, that is so true, right? And so I want to come on and just like talk. This is just a list chat video, um, because I too experienced that, and I was thinking about it today. And I think I'm getting a little personal, and I wasn't planning to do this. I'm super comfortable. I just finished doing a live on Instagram, and now I need to make a thumbnail to upload the video on YouTube. But I was thinking about how back in the day, before I really, I got distracted. My window, like I could see everything. So anytime people are moving, I'm looking. I like to look out the window. Can you tell I'm the desk by the window? Your colleague. I'm gonna be at the desk that's in front of the window. I'm gonna be looking out at all times. But I was up here thinking about like in my twenties, how I was when I used to let the people I was in a relationship with, like when we used to live together, ooh, like you could believe what you want to believe about living with a person. But from my own personal experience, like things just don't go right when you live with a person and you're not married. Like it started off great, it's good in theory, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, the Bible says. That's not what I'm saying. I'm telling you from real life experience. Like things just don't go right in your life when you're living like that. And what I mean by that is it's good at first because you're like, oh, we gonna help each other with bills, and we're sewing. Like for me, it never was about bills. It was about, oh, because I love you so much, right? But in essence, when I read what they said, let me put this down because I don't like multitasking. What I read, what they wrote on Threads, it made me think about how like when I was living with people, like my money was always little back then, but I didn't have like the worries that I did later on when I stopped that practice. And now I'm thinking I maybe should have this conversation at a different time because my daughter in the other room and she just like popped out. But yeah, I just really wanted to say, like, when I read what that person wrote, it's so true that when you are trying to do things right in your life or opposite to how you've always done it does get harder for you, right? It's like then you become like attacked in many different ways, tested in many different other ways, right? However, when you're feeling that pressure, it's important to think about what you were experiencing when you were living in a way that you didn't really like, right? So I'll give a better example because the living with people might be touching some nerves, but let's say that I'm always open and honest about the fact when I was working case management jobs, I started becoming a very heavy wine drinker. And this is me coming from a person who had never drunk alcohol in my 20s. I started drinking margaritas and wine in my first macro job, like in my early 30s. And then it became this thing where I was doing it by myself. It started out socially, happy hour with my coworkers, and then it turned into me doing it at my house by myself. And next thing you know, I'm drinking 2 bottles of wine by myself in the bedroom. Like, no, right? So, once I was saved from that, once I like, cause I taught you all about that. I begged out to God, like, God, deliver me from this. I don't even like alcohol, right? I don't like alcohol because my father was an alcoholic. So that's why in my 20s, I didn't drink. I didn't talk to men who drink. Oh my gosh, even to this day, like, not to be, I don't even like to see men who drink beer because that, no. I just have, I'm not going to say what was in my brain, right? I have an aversion to the thing. So to go from a person who did not drink, who did not want no parts of it, to now I'm drinking 2 bottles of wine at home by myself at night. When I stopped doing that, my life got better because I was clearer. I was more in tune. I was able to hear what it was that I was supposed to be doing in the world. But my life didn't magically get better. Like rainbows and pots of gold and just start falling out the sky because, like, now I'm living the way that I want to be living, like the way that's right. It didn't work like that. Actually, I started getting more challenges and more hardships. I went through more hardships after, now I'm thinking it out loud, like, than I did before. And the example I was going to talk about earlier, like living with people. Yeah, before I used to have pocket money. I used to get spending money. Like I always say, I've always been in a relationship. That's the other thing that changed. Like, when I slowed down on that whole living together thing, I also slowed down in doing the monkey bars into relationships. One of my therapists told me that, like, she's like, "Oh, you do the monkey bars." So I was like, "Yeah, once I'm out of one relationship, I'm in another one." Right? So, like, honestly, last year was the first time ever that I had not been in a relationship, right? And so even coming into this year. And so I say that, like, when I stopped those behaviors that were negative in my mind, that I did not like, that went against my morals, that went against like how I was raised, which went against what I saw myself doing, my life didn't get better. Like, the heavens didn't open up. I thought it was gonna happen like that. I thought God was gonna, like, bless me with abundance, and I'm gonna find my husband. we gonna be on the island running around, doing married people stuff. Nah, I didn't want none of that. Actually, I experienced a lot of, like, turmoil, a lot of heartbreak, a heartbreak that I had never experienced in my years of being with people. And I say that to say that, though, regardless of all of that stuff that I experienced, it was way better than what I was experiencing doing the other stuff. Because of the other stuff, I couldn't even look at myself. I couldn't even look at myself. I couldn't even, like, be okay with me. Because I knew that at night I'm going home, I'm going to go get me some wine, I'm going to drink my wine, go to sleep, and then get up in the morning and go to the job that I hate. I knew that the people that I was in a relationship with, yeah, it was great. They were good relationships. They weren't bad. None of them were bad. However, like I explained before in another episode, we weren't on the same level. We weren't on the same level. The example I gave, so it don't sound super bad, is that, you know how in elementary school when your teacher pair you up with people who are similar to you, have very similarities, like if they know you're an artsy person, they're gonna sit you at the table with an artsy person. If you're an introvert, they may sit you with someone who's an extrovert but really is an ambivert, so they don't overpower you. I was always in relationships with people where I was up here, they were here, right? Um, and so with that, it was good, but it was bad because looking back on it, I was settling in a lot of ways. I heard this woman say the other day on TikTok, and I've been trying to spend time over on TikTok to understand how it goes because I have people over there on TikTok. But I went past this video where a woman was in her car, a black woman, and she was saying how I think she was in her 50s. Yeah, if I remember, y'all gonna go dark. Just roll with it. We talking. She was in her 50s, and she was saying that look around you, the life that you have now, and she's talking about people, place, and things. The things that are around you now are your dreams from 5 years ago. I don't know about y'all. When to me that was a sign and a wonder, right? That was something that I needed to hear at that moment. So I look around my apartment. I'm in my apartment, but I'm also looking at the people around me. I'm looking at my quality of life. I'm looking at the things that I have, and it's so true. Where I am now, minus one thing, is the dreams that I had 5 years ago. And when I say things, like how I'm living my life is 5 years ago. Probably more like 7, but it's close, right? 6, actually. And so I say that to say that, yeah, when you started living like better or doing things that were more, however you coin it, I always say I'm walking with the Lord. I told one of my friends, like, I'm walking with Jesus. It's me and Jesus. That's all it is, right? And I'm by no means I'm an expert. I'm on my own journey. I like to refer people out to the experts. If you want an expert, I love Melanie. Let me find her on YouTube. I shared her before. Melanie. Watch, she gonna come up. She posted a video like on Tuesday. Roll with me, just roll with me. Get your pen and paper. Open up another. Search her name in YouTube when I share it, and follow her. Subscribe to her page. I'll find her in just a moment because she just posted a video yesterday. Came up in my alerts. Oh, let me search my alerts. Here she is. Melody Alissa. Melody is her first name. Alissa, Alisa. She actually loaded a video yesterday. God knows you are tired and weary in the wait. Don't rush God's timing. How to biblically wait on God. Melody Alissa. Subscribe to her, right? She gives you Bible principles. She references the Bible, and she talks about it in real context, like real world terms. That's how I like to learn about the Bible. It strengthened my relationship with God. I like that. I have to be able to connect it to like what it looks like in my life right now, right? It helps me better understand the stories that I read in the Bible. But anyway, so my point about that is, yeah, your life is gonna feel harder because you're being tested. This is what I learned the last 2 years. I'm being tested. I'm being tested on every turn to see if I'm ready for the next level. I'm being tested to see if I'm faithful to God. I'm being tested to see if I am ready for what more is to come. What that is, I don't know. But even though it feels harder now that you're doing the right thing, be careful not to complain too much about it, because blessings come in the gratitude. That's what I'm learning. And again, I'm no expert. I'm on my own journey. But what I'm learning is that blessings come in your gratitude, right? So be careful about like spending too much time focusing on how great life was when you weren't living right, because that's not the goal, right? And that's giving energy to something that we don't want to give energy to. And that made me think of something I told someone last month. I was like, oh my gosh, 5 years ago my life was wonderful. It was wonderful. No, I think I said like 7, 8 years ago my life was wonderful. Man, I was doing all kind of stuff. Can I go back 7 years? Fast forward a few weeks later, I would not pay to go back 7 years for nothing in the world. Am I where I want to be right now? No. But I'm way better than where I was. And I'm not talking about extrinsic things. I'm talking about intrinsically. And I realized that when I heard that woman say that, look around you. Your life now is the dreams you had 5 years ago. God is good. I just wanted to come on and talk to y'all. Look, I was supposed to be working on my thumbnail up here, running my mouth at y'all, but let me go. My baby wanna do something. All right. Bye. Happy Macro Career Planning.